Welcome to another episode of the Healing Wonders podcast. I hope you guys are having a beautiful, beautiful day full of love and light and everything bright. Today's episode is going to be Health is the New Wealth, where we just go into talking about what's good for the body and what's not good for the bodies.
Hello, community! What's good? Anyway, here we are, and it's another podcast. Holy cow! Holy podcast! Oh, wait. My cousin told me to say, like, share, and subscribe. You're supposed to say that. So, like, share, and subscribe. And then, yes, health is the new wealth. And we hope all of you all are healthy. And we all hope that you're wealthy. And that doesn't just mean money. You know what I mean? Wealthy is such a bigger, larger subject than just wealthy money.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Because in the cannabis industry right now, honey, you have got to be wealthy in spirit and soul because you sure don't got no money up in here. We ain't making no money up in here with this whole system.
I'm trying to get to my autoimmune girlies, my fellas that have an autoimmune condition and that go to cannabis to help them. You guys, so one little thing I realized, I used to say I didn't want to drink pain medication, so I would go to cannabis to help me with my whole pain situation. But what I didn't realize, and I realize it now that I am in a healthier state, I can actually process everything I went through.
I have a question.
Yes.
May I please know the full name of your autoimmune disease that you have?
Yes.
And then is there a community out there that has like a following that we could share this with?
Yes, shout out to my HS community. The full name to the condition I have is hidradenitis suppurativa. I think that's how you say it. It's
Holy cow, let me say it. Hidradenitis suppurativa.
Yes.
And expialidocious.
Yes, it's a really long name. The first time I ever heard that, I was like, what?
How do you spell that?
Yeah, until this day, I probably don't know how you spell it. I can say it, but I probably can't spell it to you.
Right.
But that, I would always go to cannabis to kind of like help me with my pain.
Yeah.
But you guys, when I tell you, this condition dragged me through the floor. Yeah,
I saw you go through it.
Yeah. My skin literally melted off, you guys. Like, when I tell you guys, say it was like a cyst that would open up and it would be a hole like this. By tomorrow, it was just like my whole skin was like melted off.
Oh, good
So
God.
I pretty much saw my skin melt from one day to another. So I would use cannabis to be like, okay, I don't want to pay attention to what's happening because I don't know what's happening. So I was kind of in a survival mode type of thing.
Yeah. I heard about that. I know about that, child. Go ahead.
Yeah, so now that I got through all that, I'm not suffering with that as bad, you know? I learned how to control it. I'm just realizing the cannabis I was smoking was most likely sprayed, and I feel like it was had partially what to do with my skin melting off and with my skin getting so bad the way it did because I didn't know the chemicals I was ingesting into my body.
Yeah.
And it was all of this sprayed stuff, and I didn't know about this. And the only reason that this came to my mind and this whole theory, because this is just my own theory, the only reason that this popped into my mind is because Venus showed me this video. I'll pop up a little picture here to show you guys what video. But it was of like these sheriffs. They were talking about all these illegal grows that were sprayed with these pesticides, but pesticides that they never had heard of. They were pesticides that were coming in from like China. Like, it was just like a crazy ass thing. And when they looked them up, they transferred like the language of what the little baggie said.
Right, into English from I guess, China.
One of the side effects were death. And that was just something that kind of sparked a little thing in my head. And I was just like, if you think about it, like, the way my body reacted to my skin condition was just such a explainable thing because the more that I learned about the HS community, the more I talk to people that have HS, or that I've seen like TikToks, like, because TikTok is what introduced me to a lot of the people in the HS community. But when I see like their scars and like how they're going through it, I'm just like, whoa, my skin didn't look like that. At one point it did, but if I think about it, when I started smoking cannabis, that's when it just skyrocketed to get like a start melting to like start. It just got really bad that I was just like, whoa, what's going on? Like, I didn't
Right.
know how to control it till I finally went to UCSF, and they were the angels that freaking helped me. And my surgeon was my angel. I will forever love him. May he become a billionaire. May he have a good day every single day, because that man is the man that gave me my life back.
Can you say his name in case there's maybe somebody out there suffering around?
His name is Dr. Hansen, and
There you go.
he is in UCSF. And that man, when I tell you that man is a freaking angel, that man is an angel, because he made me. He kind of gave my confidence back.
Yeah.
Like the UCSF team, they helped me so much. They're till this day, they are helping me so much.
Yeah.
But that man is the one that he told me he was gonna give my confidence back. And when I tell you he kept his word, he kept his word. So I will forever love him. So, like I said, I hope he becomes a billionaire, because he deserves it.
Right.
Yes. But that's when that whole theory of the sprayed
Oh,
stuff.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Just to touch on what she was saying, just a little bit, like in a bit of detail, is somebody text me this video of up in YouTube video, and it's up in Siskiyou County, and it was like all of these massive grows. And then the sheriff was like, you see these little silver packets? And so what the packets look like is, like when you buy a new pair of shoes or a new purse or a new item, and it always has like a freshening packet in it. Sometimes they're white. In this situation, they were larger and they were silver. So the cat goes on, the cop, he keeps going on about, okay, well, we tested it, and then when it came back with pesticides they don't even have in America. Number one. And then one of the side effects, once it was translated back to English, was like death. And then he went on to say that by the truckloadfuls, this cannabis is going to the greater Los Angeles area and in most of the dispensaries. So, well, I guess what I really want to say is healthcare is wealth there, and that goes to the individual. And right now, once Rosie, puts that little spleef down on the bottom about what's happening from the sheriff, he's just telling the truth. And he even says the DCC doesn't care. No one cares. So I'm saying you have to care for the temple your own self. And don't buy mainstream of what you think that is really going to sell. Man, spread this video around to your friends and the spleef down below that we're going to put down there so you can watch it for your own self. And the truth is the truth is the truth. It ain't popular, but the most likely cannabis product that's going to be sprayed with any kind of poison is going to be indoor weed. And unless you know for a fact that weed isn't sprayed, you're taking your life into your own hands right now with folks from other countries coming over here doing illegal grows and using poisons that we don't even know how to test for. We don't even know what the name is. And then once you read the side effects and it's death, man, that has me out here saying I love and respect my industry enough to come out here with my proclivities to privacy and speak truth, man, and let you guys know you got to take care of yourself. Nobody gives a shit. Don't be smoking stuff that's side effects is goddamn death.
Mm-hmm. And that's not all farmers are doing it. I feel like it's just like the mainstream, like the big name type of things.
Well, the when you watch the video, and I highly suggest that you do, the guy straight up says it. He says that most of this product is going to all the fucking dispensaries, and some smaller dispensaries maybe not, but it's also going to black market too. Because sometimes they have these things down around that area called sessions. And you go there and you bring your weed and you sell your weed. And sometimes it's legal, sometimes it's not. I heard about it on LinkedIn. And so I'm just saying that it's inundated throughout the cannabis industry, fucking period. And yeah, it's bad in California, but a lot of the weed gets shipped to other states too. So you got to care for every man for yourself. You still have the right to grow and smoke and be higher than 50 hippies, just on clean product, not sprayed product that's going to, you taking your life in your own hands just to smoke a joint. Come on, man. What are things coming to?
Exactly. That's why you just have to be mindful of what you're smoking. Kind of just do your research on the whole topic and see for yourself how bad it actually is than what they're making out to be. Because not till I did my own research and actually looked into it is where I actually noticed all this stuff happening, and that's where came up with my little theory of like, this is probably why this happened to my skin. This is probably why I had it a little harder than if I talked to someone else that has the same condition as I do.
Yeah.
And didn't go through it as the way I did, but they had it the same stage I was in, if that makes sense.
No, that makes total sense.
So it was just my little theory. It just all clicked in after I saw that video. It's like if everything, I processed it. And my mind, like, directly when I was watching the video, it straight went to that moment and when I was going through all that. And I was like, okay, this kind of makes sense now. Yeah. Because it was something I would question a lot, like, why did that happen? Because it was like a crazy traumatic experience.
It all led you to this moment, baby.
It did. Honestly, it did.
To this realization, to this moment, to the pure joint that you're smoking now, and to the voice that you're trying to get out to folks with the same kind of disease you have. And better yet, anybody on planet Earth who smokes weed, man, make sure you know what you're smoking. And it's less likely that other strains of weed and other kinds of weed are being sprayed because it's not necessary. And I already sent you guys out a video about you don't need to spray weed at all, for God's sakes, if you know what the fuck you're doing and you're paying attention. But that's going to be considered top shelf weed because it takes a lot of expertise and really energy and love and time and care, especially if you know it's your soul's purpose. You know, it's exhilarating and draining as you ascend while you grow with the product. Anyway, that's off topic. We'll get back to the health care and the welfare. But that is actually on topic because it's spiritual health and spiritual wealth.
Yeah, because if you think about it, all these chemicals that you were probably consuming in this sprayed stuff is affecting your mental health. I feel like it contributes to the whole depression
and moods and all of that because and here's the thing, you're probably wondering, man, why am I in a shit mood or why do I feel this way? Because when you get high, you get to do, you do it, the meditation of it, to be exactly that, high, not low, and not sick and not gloom and doom. So check in with yourselves, community. Do a health and welfare check-in with yourself. Look inside. Feel how you're feeling. And more than anything, if you have the ability at all, make sure you know your farmer who you're buying your product from. And that goes right to the root of the problem.
Yes, honey, I got to know my farmer. And honey, I got to know my problem. And when I tell you guys, I have controlled my HS in a way that I have never ever controlled it. And I know the surgeries had a lot to do with it, but the first surgeries I ever had, I was still facing with this problem. It was still getting bad. So it was not like that it was like one surgery, it's fixed. No, it was like a whole process
like
of
a series,
time.
A whole journey.
But now that I think of I kept smoking and smoking through that whole journey. Imagine all the chemicals I was ingesting, all the chemicals that my body
an allergic reaction and you didn't know it. That was coupled on top of the disease.
Yes, and I feel like maybe that's why it made my body reject other medications because I had other reactions where my whole breathing cut off. I had to it was just a crazy experience when I tell you. We're gonna probably do an episode of like a whole HS episode.
Yeah, that would be badass.
That would be an interesting episode.
Right.
And I'll probably have a guest for you guys on that episode.
Oh, yeah,
So,
that would be super groovy.
We'll get more into that. But it kind of is just, I processed it, it's sinking more in, and it's kind of explaining to myself, like, maybe these chemicals were what was affecting your body. Because when I gave myself a full detox and, like, I only transitioned into Healing Wonders cannabis,
Right.
I didn't have those problems. And the days that I was just like, okay, I was like out of town, I wanted to smoke, and I got something from a dispensary. What happened to me like a few days later? I got a flare up. So it kind of just like.
What did you buy, if I can ask?
I had got an infused blunt. So I feel like it's just different chemicals that I put into my body. So I feel like my body was just like, wait, what's this? It's not our usual. So it kind of just reacted to it, and it just made me aware of like the pattern that was happening. So kind of just like I got to the root of what was causing my flare-ups.
Yeah, and it was sprayed weed all along.
Yes.
With poison on the shit. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I'm not really sure like the specific date and time that the video came out. I just know that I hope it was like super recent. So whoever is watching these videos can just do a self check-in. And where do I stand with smoking more weed? And can I get as high on weed that more than likely not to be sprayed, since no matter where I go, it's a high likely that in that dispensary there's sprayed weed in there.
Exactly.
Right?
I feel like it's the self-respect you owe yourself to care about what you're ingesting, care about how you feel, and just how you want to be in general. Like,
yeah,
you want to be a high vibration, not
right.
a low vibration.
Right, and you want to celebrate the end of 2024 and whatever journey that fucking gave you, and to be super excited about the possibilities for 2025.
Yeah.
And you can't do that if you're in a hospital bed, you know, fighting for your life because you dabbed or you smoked or you did whatever to some contaminated weed you had no idea was contaminated, but you fully trusted the system and the regulation system to make sure it wasn't contaminated. And they didn't care, man. And so now you gotta watch out for yourself, man.
Yeah, because of how you said the DCC doesn't care.
Yeah.
As long as they have money in their pockets, they're good. But in reality, are they truly, truly paying attention to what the consumer wants? Are they truly, truly paying attention to the safety of the consumer? Because I don't think so.
Right, and then if you do the math on this, here, what? Check this out. So it was a sheriff, right, who is a government employee, right, who is doing a big spleef on all this contaminated weed that with the death side effects were death, right? And in his message was the fact that the DCC doesn't care. And there's been numerous reports, complaints, etc., and nothing is being done. So even within our own governmental rule-making system and regulating system, they are at odds. And we all know there's no divinity in chaos.
And that's why I wanted to talk about this topic. Just because I went through a situation where my body was literally shutting down on me. I want to let my girlies that have this autoimmune disease or have any autoimmune disease in general and they're suffering with it, in reality, it's going to get better. You just have to be mindful of what you're putting into your body, and you kind of have to give that self-love, that self-respect to yourself. And just do your little research and just be like, okay, we don't want to fall into these patterns anymore. We're going to care about what goes into our body, and we're just going to love and respect ourselves. And you're going to see a shift happen. You're going to have a whole 360 happen, and it's crazy. These things are just going to click, and you're going to give yourself that self-respect, and you're going to fall in love with wanting the best for the best of yourself.
Right, and to be healthy and wealthy from within throughout.
Yes.
So,
And like they said, health is the new wealth. This is a topic that I'm so big on because I feel like for so long I was not in a healthy state.
Right.
So I was just in such a negative state, and being in a negative state influences
How you feel.
how you feel.
How you heal, too.
How you heal, yeah. So as soon as I started telling my body, like, you're healthy, you're this, you're that, like, you tell yourself your affirmations and you truly mean them.
Right.
It believes you. Your body literally believes you. It becomes whatever you want it to become. Like, you want your body to look a certain way. You go in the mirror, you tell her, I was like, we're gonna look like this, and you do that every single day, but you truly, truly believe it.
Yeah.
And it happens.
It
like,
does.
Being the Lulu is the Salulu. Like, it
and
really
there's scientific proof of what you're saying.
Yes.
There's scientific proof of what... There's this guy that's called Joe Dispenza, and another one called Greg Braden, and they're like doctors and scientists and stuff, and everything that you're saying, they can like corroborate it. You know what I mean? You could look it up if you wanted to and corroborate everything she's saying, and she's right. You know, it takes focus, and you know, you gotta build your mind up to believe in yourself, but it absolutely works.
It does. And I feel like I was just I got to a point where I was so tired of being like that.
Yeah.
That I knew there's a higher calling for my attitude, for my spirit, that I'm just like, I'm gonna go look for that. It took me some time, but I got there.
Right.
I had to learn. I had to go through my little lessons.
Right. And so now you're managing your health, and
Yes.
it's making you wealthy, and we want to share the same with you all out there. Health is wealth. Care for the temple. Be careful what you put in it when it comes to sprayed cannabis with the side effects having death.
Exactly. Especially if you have an autoimmune disease and you're suffering from it, you have to be even more mindful of what you're ingesting, what you're putting in your body.
Yeah.
Just because
anybody with any kind of disease or any kind of veteran that's on antidepressant medication and smoking too, you know, no one cares, man. You got to care about yourself, and you got to make sure that the weed that you're smoking or whatever you're doing, it is not contaminated with the side effects being death.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. You have to truly finally be like, you know what? I want the best for myself, the best of the best for myself, and I'm not going to settle for nothing less than that. So.
Right, and it's highly likely that indoor weed is sprayed more than any other strain out there from all the different ways that you can grow weed. And I'm not trying to discourage anybody. I'm just trying to tell you the straight up fucking truth.
Exactly.
Yeah,
'Cause now-
I'm growing weed for 30 years, so I know the process on every kind of way you can grow weed. And for me, you know, if anybody's going to spray anything, they're going to spray it on indoor weed before they spray it on anything else.
Yes, and I'm such a big believer on everything you say, just because I saw my body just take a whole
180 turn.
Yeah, it changed so much, so I was just like, oh, okay, like,
Yeah.
all of this stuff is actually right.
Yeah, because it's all mixed in with your bloodstream,
Yeah.
and that affects you if you're got any kind of disease or sickness at all, and you really find comfort in cannabis. You have the right to continue to do so, but at this stage, one must use discernment, community. Use your own discernment. Check in with yourself and think about not being so attached to buying one kind of weed, and that's the best there is, because it's a fallacy. All the way from the infrastructure to the person buying it down the pike.
Okay, you guys, we're gonna wrap it up here. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. We're sending you lots of love, light, and everything bright. You can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe.
Like, share, and subscribe. So there we are. I done said it twice now. My family will be proud of me. Bye, y'all.
Okay,
Enjoy.
bye, you guys. Remember, be mindful of what you put into your body. Your body is a temple. Respect it.
Healthcare is welfare.
Bye.